Hi, I'm Jeremy Spears, and I'm giving a informative speech about transmission linemen and electrical system. Did you know that it only takes seconds from the power to go from the power plant to your home? Electricity is a major part of everyday living, and when the electric goes out, the world almost comes to a complete stop. Transmission lineman plays an important role in transmitting the power from the power plant to your customer's home or business. Transmission system consists of transmission lines, towers, and substations. Transmission lines are the backbone of the electrical system. Without them, the power could not travel such long distances. And with the transmission lines, the price gets more affordable for everyone. Qualifications of a transmission lineman are to be a high school graduate or have an education as equivalent. You must have and maintain a state driver's license and a CDL. And you must be willing to learn the necessary skills to complete the duties of the job. No previous experience is required, but it does look good. However, you need to be able to communicate with the other employees and the public in a respectful manner. The duties of a transmission lineman are to be involved in the installation, maintenance, and operation of transmission lines and towers. Inspections of the transmission towers are either done by foot patrol, where they actually walk the lines, check for abnormalities, or they walk it with the helicopter. They also operate heavy pieces of equipment and drive line trucks, pickup trucks, and off-road vehicles. The lineman has to climb wooden poles by strapping metal spikes to their boots and legs. They might have to work with these attached to their legs for many hours at a time. If they can, they will work out with a bucket. The buckets on some of the trucks can reach up to 100 feet in the air. Many times they have to take off-road vehicles to get to the location they need to be in, or climb mountains to reach their destinations. They also use helicopters to build towers and string lines. The transmission linemen work in all types of weathers, from the freezing cold to the blazing hot summer. The linemen have to dress in layers and take extra amounts of food in case they have trouble calls. There are a variety of tasks included in the job of a transmission lineman. Work on electric lines is a major one. However, you also have to keep records of reports and daily work, attend training programs, direct traffic, and put up barricades to ensure safety. The safety of a transmission lineman is critical in their everyday routine. Each company has a strict set of rules and guidelines the employee must follow. Not only are they risking their lives, but the lives of other co-workers also. If one employee makes a mistake, it can be deadly for the whole crew. Communication is number one for linemen when working on lines and structures. PPE or personal protective equipment, such as hard hats, safety glasses, insulated gloves, insulated rubber boots, and hot sticks are required to maintain safety regulations. The lineman supervisor on the site will have a job briefing every morning before they get started to ensure safety. Identify the hazards of the job and to brief his crew on the job they will be performing. Some of the serious work hazards are electrical shock, burns, trees, bees, snakes, weather, lightning, and steep mountains. If a lineman gets hurt out in the woods or on a mountain, it might take hours for the rescue crew to get there. In some deep wood areas, choppers have been used to rescue the injured workers. Most people never give a thought on how complex the electrical system is. At the start of the electrical system is a power plant. This industrial facility makes and generates electricity. There are different types of power plants that are used to create electricity. The different types are steam, geothermal, gas, nuclear, wind, hydroelectric dams, coal, and fossil fuels. Since electricity cannot be stored, the electricity is used the second it's generated at the plant. Electricity goes to the transmission substation from the power plants. At the transmission substation, the power gets stepped up from 13,000 volts to either 138, 345, or 765 volts. From the transmission substation, the electricity is transmitted through the transmission lines. The transmission lines carry electric from the transmission substation to the distribution substation. The lines are either made out of copper or aluminum because they are good conductors. The amount of power on a transmission line is limited due to the length of the line. The structures are either towers or poles. The towers are made out of metal, and the poles are either wood or metal. They're made out of different types of material depending on where the structure is and how many volts are going through it. The towers go from 80 feet to 300 feet in the air. On top of the structure there is a wire, which is a shield wire that protects the power line from lightning. Below the shield wire are the electric lines, which are held to the structure by insulators. The insulators are just like the lines, they're made out of copper or aluminum because they're also good conductors. Transmission lines lead into the distribution substation. The distribution substation takes the power down from 34,000 volts to 12,000 volts. The substation steps up the high voltage transmission lines to the low voltage distribution lines. There are transformers at the substation which transfer the power, steps it down. And the transformers have two wires inside, and there's oil in the middle of it, and it passes the electricity from one side to the other. After electricity leaves the distribution substation, it is transmitted to the distribution lines. The distribution lines are either 34,000 volts or 12,000 volts. Underneath the distribution line there is a neutral line which feeds back into the substation. It takes the unused electricity back to the copper grid where it grounds electricity. There's a transformer on a pole outside of residential homes or places of business which steps down electric from 12,000 volts to 120 or 240. Electric flows from the transformer to a service drop line which then carries it into your home. Power goes through many steps before you can use it in your home or business. Electricity has changed the way the world operates over the years. From the light bulb to electric cars, electricity is used in every aspect of people's lives. Electrical transmission sector is the most complex out of all the utilities used in the world. Also, transmission lineman job, although very dangerous, is also quite rewarding. The transmission lineman job is very demanding in the critical process of having electricity in each person's life daily. So the next time an electrical device gets plugged in, it is important to realize how many processes electric goes to get there.